Brain training is an all-encompassing term that also includes physical activity in a way. When we think of the benefits of physical activities, we hardly ever think that our brains can benefit from it, but they do play their part in our goal of achieving a healthy brain. A healthy brain helps us get through life more fluidly because without the brain, obviously, we can't do anything. We are able to feel, work, think, play, remember, eat, and sleep because our brain is working. Welcome to episode 100 of the Teacher Rockstar podcast, a place where tips and strategies critical to the new teacher are discussed. I'm your host, Steve Hiles, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about keeping your brain healthy with brain training. You know, my friend, I can't believe it. This is our 100th episode, and I am super excited about it. It seems like only yesterday that we published our first episode of the Teacher Rockstar podcast. At any rate, before we continue with today's episode, we have the following messages from our sponsor. Would you like to jumpstart your classroom management skills? Well, if you're fresh out of college, a first-year teacher, a student teacher, or maybe you're a teacher returning back into the classroom after an extended absence, the Teacher Rockstar Academy course is for you. Gain the confidence, the skills you'll need to crush it on day one and beyond. So invest in yourself and enroll now at tra.teacherclassroomresources.com. That's tra.teacherclassroomresources.com. I promise you that this will be a transformational experience. Now, imagine having access to educational products, instructional videos, top-rated teacher podcasts, and articles worth over $1,000 for just pennies a day. Wouldn't that be awesome? And you know what the best part is? You get a free 7-day trial to go and look around. So go ahead and check it out. Simply go to membership.teacherclassroomresources.com. I will be adding more products each and every month, and I know you're going to love being part of this teacher membership community. Okay, let's dive right in. The state of our brain can influence how easy these activities come to us, especially the more complex ones, like, for example, remembering and working. How does the brain benefit from physical activity? When we engage in physical activities, the brain gets a stable, rich flow of blood. Physical exercise also helps in regeneration of brain cells. Now, the influence of age on the brain is one that negatively impacts the brain. As we age, our mental alertness decreases. We regularly experience short-term memory, and we have an increased risk to diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. All of these are as a result of decreased functionality of the brain cells. However, studies have shown that brains which in their early years receive proper stimulation will develop these conditions much later than the brain who didn't. Most brains receive their form of stimulation through higher education. This supports research findings pointing to individuals with a lower level of education more likely to develop these conditions earlier on in old age. This, of course, doesn't exclude highly educated persons from developing these neurological conditions. What it does mean is that they'll most likely develop it much later on in old age. But school shouldn't necessarily play a part in how much mental stimulation your brain gets. Okay? On the contrary, adding mental stimulation as a feature of your lifestyle is quite easy. It doesn't even require you to tweak the entirety of your lifestyle. All you have to do is introduce a few new changes regularly, solve a puzzle instead of watching another movie on TV. Take a short walk to provide your brain with proper blood circulation. Don't spend every day in bed. Be active, in other words. Now let me go ahead and address brain training exercises. Having understood the important role your brain plays daily without ever going on a break, it's imperative that you get started with brain training right now. No, there should be no procrastination with this. Don't put it off, start now. However, there are many brain games available in the market. As with everything, they've become a business to too many companies, hence why there are a few promising to do wonders, when in fact, they do absolutely nothing. When purchasing a brain game, I want you to keep in mind that it won't turn you into an Albert Einstein overnight, okay? It might never do that. However, the purpose of brain training is to slow down your declining brain functionality and help improve your memory skills and overall intelligence. It doesn't translate to mean that it will transform your IQ from average to genius level. These games work by enhancing brain functions and help their users or players to develop the following, okay? Increased mental alertness, higher level of concentration, heightened awareness, better mood, fast and reasonable thinking abilities. Just as children's learning games require repetition for effective learning, so also do brain games. You have to regularly play these games. Brain games are often likened to things like flashcards that are used in teaching young children. These young children are exposed to these flashcards on an almost daily basis until the child gets it without the use of the flashcard. Okay? Now, brain game developers and experts recommend that players spend a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes daily on these games for the training to have long-lasting effect. These effects, such as heightened cognitive skills, stay years after the training, as is indicated by recent studies. Interesting, some experts are of the opinion that while some brain games might not serve as a source of stimulation to the brain, they do serve as a morale or confidence booster. That is to say, because players believe that the game will make them smarter, they begin to feel smarter, and this boosts their self-confidence ultimately. What should you start with? Start with the interesting stuff. Here are a few brain training game exercises to start with. The first one I'll lead off with is chess. Now, this is a board game known by many but played by few. People easily dismiss the idea of learning how to play chess because they feel the game is difficult, but on the contrary, it really isn't. The game puts your analyzing skills to work and enhances your level analysis. The game is a good way to boost one's spatial intelligence since it helps you to consider various possibilities. And it does more than stimulate the brain. The game helps to enhance one's creative strategies, thinking abilities, and your overall IQ. Many refer to the game as an advanced version of checkers, which is another classic game. Chess is much more complex, though, as checkers, with pieces that can only be moved in limited directions based on the value of the piece. Chess players have the following in common: intelligence, ability to think of strategies, and focus. And these abilities easily rub off on other areas of your life as well. Learn the rules, read a book about it if you have to, and find a good opponent. With chess, there's no time to lose concentration, not if you want to win. Okay, the second brain game is Sudoku. If you've never heard of Sudoku, it's fine, but kind of sad. It's a game whose design is based on the Latin square with numbers. Numbers are from 1 to 9, and the rule of this logic placement game is that no number should be repeated twice in any row or column. A good way to start, if you've never played before, is to start with the easier levels and gradually proceed to the tougher levels. It's fun. The third game is Concentration Game, an old-time classic brain simulator. The game involves a deck of cards and tests your level of concentration and focus. Now, to play the game, get a playing partner, flip over 2 cards, and try to accurately guess what the card is. Number 4, math problems. You definitely don't want to miss out on the goodness of solving mathematic problems. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad at math, or if you love it or, hate it. Just try it out. The next, number 5, is browse for math problems. Remember to start with the easiest and slowly move up the ladder. If you find it impossible to solve, then ask for help. Regularly try to solve math problems because if you stay away from them for too long, you tend to forget about them as well. Solving math problems engages a lot of regions of the brain. It sharpens your reasoning and calculating abilities while also making you a faster solutionist. Next time you're tempted to use your calculator for a simple math problem, ditch the calculator and have your brain do it mentally. Number 6, Rubrics Cube. The Popular's 80s game is a color 4-inch squared puzzle made up of 9 smaller squares. The aim of the game is for the player to rearrange the colored squares until uniform colors are gotten. The puzzle was a hit upon production back then and is still available on the market. But if you're hoping to improve your ability to analyze and consider many alternatives to a problem, then you should go buy this puzzle. Okay, last but certainly not least, number 7, online brain games like Brain Workout. Now, these games work efficiently when you play them on a regular basis, okay? Also, for the multiplayer games, it helps to find opponents who play better than you. They create better stimulation and are much more fun to play with. Also, if you can't get your hands on the board, you can download the game as an app on your phone or laptop. Well, my friend, this brings us to the end of this episode, and I hope you found a golden nugget or two from the information presented. As always, feel free to reach out should you have any questions or comments about the episode, and I want to thank you for listening to the Teacher Rockstar podcast. I'm your host, Steve Hiles. When you get a moment, visit my blog and subscribe to my newsletter for the latest educational research, best practices, and unadvertised free bonuses. Go to our new and improved blog at blog.teacherclassroomresources.com. And don't forget to subscribe to us at the Teacher Rockstar podcast. And if you'd like to support us, please feel free to share our podcast with others. Post about it on social media or leave a rating and review. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks again. We'll see you same time, same place next week. And remember, my friend, you got this.